Cooper's Gap on day 3, but that's tall, that's steep. And here we go down to Cooper's Gap, and then I'm guessing it's straight up the other side. I think we might be done. I think we're going to call a trail shuttle and get picked up. Too many ups and downs. Gooch Gap this way, 4.7 miles. This is the Army Ranger base and the helicopter we heard on the first night. Okay, end of day 3. We found this awesome campsite about 15 miles west of Cooper's Gap. Here is the trail to the water. An excellent privy, although it's kind of close to the water. Okay, in all seriousness though, we have called it quits. We did not make it to Woody Gap. Shout out to Ron's shuttle service. Ron is unbelievable. He picked us up at Woody Gap 3 days ago and gave us all kinds of information. I thought I had done all my research on the trail, but he gave me a lot of information I didn't know. For instance, the last water source is at Hawk Mountain Shelter for 8 miles, at least till you get to Justice Creek. So he'll give you water. He'll actually place water for you if you let him know, and make sure you've got plenty to make it through there. But he dropped us off, and 3 days later he was more than happy at a moment's notice to come pick us up. I would definitely use him for a shuttle service. Okay, why did we quit? We in Florida, we hike an easy 12 miles pretty often, but 6 miles in the mountains really kicked our butts. At the end of that, especially on the second day, we were just really sore and feet hurt, and we didn't want to continue on through Sassafras Mountain and all that. What did we learn on the trip, though? For one thing, I don't know that I would stay in the shelters. I know that people stay in the shelters because it's a guaranteed spot to camp, and you don't know if there's going to be something further. But in the first 12 miles, we did not come across a single mile that didn't have a campsite. There were campsites at Three Forks. There were campsites just before the falls. There were campsites at Cooper's Gap. There were campsites at
Stover Creek, like outside the shelter?
Yeah, outside the shelter. But what's the one we crossed? Hightower Gap.
Yes.
There were campsites at Hightower Gap, and they were right on the water. They were really nice. I'd have much rather stayed there than at Stover Creek. What else?
Composting privies that we found in other places are much nicer than the privies that they have on the Appalachian Trail. The trail privies are basically pit toilets, and they kind of smell, and they're a little gross, and they're just not that nice. And a lot of people, I understand why they might prefer to just go in the woods with their shovels and dig a cat hole.
Yeah, they were pretty nasty. We found we'd much rather use the woods.
We found that it kind of took the fun out of camping, because we really enjoy camping, and I think we might in the future prefer to hike in several miles to a lake, do some camping and fishing and a bonfire, and then hike out a few days later, as opposed to being a thru hiker.
Yeah, absolutely. Doing that kind of mileage every day. By the time we got to camp, we didn't want to do anything but go to sleep. We didn't even want to eat, even though we made ourselves do it. Keeping electrolytes was rough. We took Gatorade, but I don't know that we were getting enough in. I was cramping pretty bad after the first night. Second night, it wasn't so bad. Third, if we had pushed on, it probably would have gotten better, but we were sore enough. We just didn't want to.
Okay, what did you like?
I loved, even though the elevation was really tough, I loved the elevation and the scenery. The green tunnel, it really was a green tunnel. It was a solid 10 degrees cooler inside that tunnel than it was outside in Dahlonega, places like that. Everyone was unbelievably nice. Everyone we passed, everyone helped out. It was just wonderful. The Appalachian Trail itself, of course, we're here because of the Appalachian Trail, but I think I've cured myself of wanting to hike it all the way. People call them pointless ups and downs, and they really are pointless ups and downs. You just go up to come right back down to go right back up again, and I am very amazed at anyone who does the entire trail. it was an adventure. It was a really cool thing to try out. I'm glad we did it. We walked up to Springer. We saw the plaque. We did the first 12 miles of the trail. Yeah, but I think that was enough for us. I don't think I have the bug to hike all the way to Maine.
What did we dislike?
Too tired to enjoy the activities at night. I'd like to get to camp, make a campfire, and I enjoy camping. I was too tired to enjoy any of that. And we carry more when we camp. I like to take a few, what would you call them?
Fun
Comfort things?
Yeah, comfort things.
And you just couldn't carry those long distance hiking the Appalachian Trail. I think our packs were about 28 pounds when we were fully loaded, and that was really too much for me already. I definitely don't want to add anything more to it.
I think that's about it.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Hope you enjoy the videos. We're in downtown Dahlonega, and that's the Chastity River Diving Bell. There's got to be a good story behind this. Let me see if I can find it. So interesting. For years, no one knew what it was.
Well, kind of. Not quite like what we know something would be now.
I mean, the hatch is way up there.
Yeah?
If I could just climb up there, I could.
Dahlonega downtown. Can you make out the history tree?